All right, all right, all right. Double feature tonight. Hell yeah. So, I'm here with Eggness. We're going to get you tip-top shape and stride.
All right, let's do it.
I don't think I... Yeah, okay, these audio settings look fine. It's been a minute. I usually just mute the VOD when I'm doing VOD review, so I'm not used to having to balance those. All right. This game is so rad.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Pardon me? I see. I'm throwing you.
Oops.
Oh, I anticipated too much. I was going for the YRC.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pardon me? I see you. Holy order.
Okay.
About it, as expected.
So, one of the things I noticed first here, we can hit rematch. I just want to run the clock down a little bit.
Okay.
Things I noticed is that even when you were getting hit, you weren't like defaulting to blocking. I did 5k to 6h, which doesn't combo, but it did wall splat you. Those were both individual hits.
Okay.
So usually, like when you're getting hit, you want to default to blocking, even if it's a true combo, in case they like mess up, or just in case, rather than pressing buttons most of the time.
Yeah.
Pardon me? I've got you now. Well, that was annoying.
Okay.
Close match.
So
I was looking at Kai's frame data earlier, but I have completely forgotten all of it at this point.
for the most part, the only big stuff you got to worry about frame data is like if something is plus on block, like that, like those two moves.
Yeah.
I got to worry about it a little more. Oh. This doesn't blink, does it? No, but it looks rad. Let's go.
Let's go. Oh, that's not good. Oh, yeah. Still alive. Not anymore.
Yep. So, both of those rounds, you had almost full meter by the end of them.
Yeah, I was trying to get a spot to use the meter. That's something I'm bad at. I know I'm bad at, is not using my meter.
It can be rough to get in the habit of it, because it's a use it or lose it kind of resource between rounds.
Right.
So, it can be helpful, like, having, like, knowing what to use it for, not as a best case scenario, but it's like, hey, if I get a grab, I can RC, and then get a combo.
Mm-hmm.
do
I
it.
hit a button. I hit a button.
Okay.
Oh, okay, first out of that.
Yeah, not the super. The same kind of deal about like when you're waking up. If you're not, you should be blocking unless you're trying to like intentionally press a button somewhere or like there's like a reason for what you're. Does that make sense? Like a.
Yeah, that does make sense. Like a lot of characters, or at least like Soul, I know will DP out of on wake up, but I don't think that's really a thing for Giovanna. As far as I know.
She has her super. Her grounded. Yeah, that one. That's invuln. But aside from that, you don't have any invuln moves.
Right.
Ooh, nice delay on the burst. No!
I dropped the combo. I did the wrong move.
Yep.
Yeah, if I wouldn't have dropped the combo, I think I would have had that round.
Yeah. So after the after that, I don't call it spin kick. It's the low to the ground one, the cortical forward kick.
Yeah, I think it's Travau is its name.
I have no clue. It's spiral arrow.
Yeah.
After that move, you are, I believe you're like +2, like slightly plus.
+4, I think.
Oh, that's more than I thought. +4.
I think. I'm not 100% on that.
Gotcha. We can check Deathloop later, but the point is that you're like plus.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use that to, depending on like what move you think I'm pressing, use that to enforce like a frame trap, where if I press a button, you'll counter hit me.
Wow.
So
yeah, like something I do is a lot of times I'll go for far slash out of that move unless my opponent starts throwing out a fast button, and then I'll just throw out like 5p instead.
let's actually look at that real quick. So after the do spiral arrow, and then I'll mash a move, and you hit 5p.
Okay. Okay. If I can hit it.
Yep. So that'll counter hit me there.
Oh my god. Sometimes my inputs are so great.
Yep. It's all good.
Oh, I know I'm hitting the kick button too quick.
So notice there you hit 5p, and it missed.
Mm-hmm.
That's because you have to worry about the spacing of these two. If you do it point blank, then we're close enough to where you can interrupt me. But if we're further away, then it gets a little iffy. Additionally, go ahead and do it again. And then 5p. 6p across the cast is upper body and vuln.
So you could 6p and stop me.
Right.
Gotcha.
And then that can, that doesn't have to be super, but that can be something else that has risk behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because of that, if you're going to try to press after that, far slash will hit low enough to get around pretty much every 6p like upper body and vuln hurt box.
Okay.
But go ahead and do far slash this time.
Okay. Oops.
But it loses to most characters loses to them like mashing punch or their fastest move.
Right.
So it becomes a little bit of that guessing game, right? Mm-hmm. And that's if I even like sit there and take it at all. So if you do it again and I backdash, you're good.
There we go.
If you did far slash and I backdash,
I see.
That's a direct punish.
Yeah. Okay.
So it becomes a kind of like you're advantaged, but you still do have to make a decision.
Yeah.
Because additionally, if all you ever do is hit me with punch after there, I'm still gonna press, right? Because you've hit me with like punch versus me trying to get a knockdown.
Right.
And then I get my knockdown pressure.
Right.
Because punches lead to very little in this game for most of the cast.
Yeah, I think I can do I can do 5p, then her reversal is as much as I can get off of it.
Do you mean like her super?
No, her dragon punch. It's not
yeah. The cartwheel or whatever.
Yeah, that one.
That's still only based on distance though. So like, getting the second 5p, or let's use this example, right? That doesn't combo. My bad. But if that does, but if we're already at a distance where, like, let's say I've used a plus on block move, or not plus on block move, but if we're not point blank, it can miss.
Right.
And that's not the end of the world, but it does make it less... That means that if you're going to hit, like, jab into cartwheel, you're not going to be able to react to see if the jab hit in time, if you're going off of one hit.
Okay. Yeah, I can't really hit confirm it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, a lot of the times, the only reward to, like, trying to interrupt me with specifically jab is if I'm trying to interrupt you with jab, which is a fun little circle.
Right.
And the only reason I'm trying to interrupt you with jab is to either, like, try to take my turn back from you. Let's say you do your move, and then you think I'm going to block. You could run up throw.
Right.
Or I think you're going to do far slash to try to catch something else.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like I win this.
So if you think I'm going to jab, you have another option aside from punch. You could use 5K.
Okay.
It's a little slower, but it's much further range,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll combo into your wolf roundhouse kick,
Okay.
your quarter circle back kick, which
Right,
is
yeah.
it's minus on block, but it is safe.
Right. It's only like -4, 2 or something like that.
Yeah, it's very you don't need to hit confirm it because you're fine if they block it. It's not great. It's better if they get hit, but it's not the end of the
Right.
world.
Yeah. Oops, did I let the timer run out?
Yeah, it's all good though.
Alright.
So, kind of by that same logic, right, it becomes this consistent situation, not of spacing, but of, like, frame advantage, where if I'm going to try to press a button to keep you from running up and grabbing me, or, you know, running up and doing, like, close slash for more plus frames, then you can beat that by doing far slash. If I think you're going to far slash, I can try to mash punch. If I try to mash punch, you can try to mash punch.
It's like this rock, paper, scissors.
Right.
Okay.
But note that a lot of my answers are either like small or reactionary. So like I'm not going to be able to start a big combo even if I'm right. Versus if you get far slash, you get far slash 5H super, or or the knockdown with your 214K.
Mm-hmm. So. I had a question about. So I mentioned that I was looking at Kai's frame data a little bit earlier, just kind of seeing what's plus, and as far as the special moves, what's plus and what's minus. How much should I guess you wouldn't really necessarily know for me personally, but at what point should I start worrying about matchup specific things? How big of a thing is that? Because I come from Smash Ultimate, where it's like you can't know every matchup in Smash Ultimate.
It's kind of the exact opposite in this game.
Okay.
Like, you have the same kind of thing, like, I imagine in Ultimate, right? You have the same kind of thing of, like, oh, I know Duck Hunt's gonna chuck shit at me.
Yeah, you know the general idea for a lot of matchups. But, like, nobody knows the frame data for all, like, 80-some characters in that game.
Right. In Smash, the frame data also makes less of a difference outside of, like, the extreme ends.
Yeah.
So I think the way to approach matchups for now is to focus on individual characters, right? So, like, let's say, obviously you're going to be focusing on, like Giovanna, like, oh, how do I get plus frames off close slash? How do I use those, and we can get to that in a moment, but the idea can also be like, oh, off of knockdown, Kai gets this supercharged projectile that lets him, like, run up in pressure. I need to be aware of his options after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, you can kind of mix the two of, like, oh, without meter, I don't have an invincible move. That's going to be a problem for me.
Right, yeah.
I've never seen just the kick splat. That's really funny. It's this really dramatic wall splat. Oops. but especially the nature of Giovanna is kind of such that like you get your plus frames and you get to play your game.
Right.
And Kai's a little bit in the same boat. No. Let me out. I'll do it. I'll send it. So let's say how to pressure with Giovanna, right? Let me actually switch to Gio real quick so I can show you a little better.
All right.
Gio, her kind of like character gimmick. I say character gimmick, but like characters have specialties naturally. It's just easier to say character gimmick because it's something that she's really good at. Is that she's plussing a lot of stuff. She has, I think, like 3 plus moves, which is a lot.
Yeah, one of her supers is even plus.
That's actually not super.
The dive kick.
Yeah, the dive kick. Gear supers are actually really busted in that regard.
Yeah.
Like, to where even if they're plus on block, they're usually not your best use of meter, which is wild. Or because there's so many uses of meter, and there's so little meter to go around.
Yeah.
So
that's something I wanted to work on at some point too, is like red RRC combos and stuff. I don't know any of those.
Gotcha. It's nice and easy because the Roman cancel gives you that pop-up. So we can get to that in a moment when we get to like the way you want to build a game plan real quick is with Gio at least. Like this is your only overhead. It's very slow, so it's not hard to block, but it's plus on block. So it's the same thing as the Spiral Arrow, right? Where like it's not like this is gonna hit anybody who's expecting it, but it is gonna be like, oh, you reacted too late, and now your only option is to block and give me my plus frames.
Right.
And the way that she uses the plus frames, basically, it's called strike throw. So, because she only has the 2 overheads, and dust is fine. It exists. With Roman cancel, you can get some damage out of it, but it's pretty unlikely otherwise. Go ahead and block for me.
Okay.
The mix-up is basically, hey, when I'm plus on block here, how many times am I gonna do this?
Okay.
Because you have to press a button to make me stop doing this.
Right. And what's the frame gap on that? 'Cause I guess you might not know off the top of your head.
I believe it's
You're
like
not
plus.
a Geo player.
I played a fair bit of Geo,
Okay.
but it's also a very important move to know. It's like I believe it's like plus 3-ish.
Okay.
So like if I do close slash and then mash 5K, I'll beat any button you press.
Okay. Oh wow. That's crazy because her 5P is 4 frames, so that's crazy.
Yep. And then similarly, if I just buffer that into the wolf kick, the roundhouse, like I'm minus on block, but I get that really nice knockdown on hit.
Yeah.
So I can, especially if it's a spacing like this, where go ahead and block for me.
Okay.
Like this spacing, where if we end up here and I'm plus, and I think you're going to press 5P, I could just press 5K, and then buffer that into the kick.
Right.
Or maybe not quite at that spacing, but such that like I only go into the roundhouse kick if the 5K hits.
Right. Okay.
If I do it right, at least. Because I'm hiding it inside the 5K.
Oh, okay.
So it's buffering, basically. Same thing with like, you'll see a lot of characters do this with like 5H. Normally 5H into Spiral Arrow doesn't combo. On counter hit it does though.
Really?
Yep. Go ahead and I guess jump and then do like 6H or something when you land. Something really slow.
Okay. Oops. I missed it. 6H when I land. Oh, you said
Yeah,
land.
some grounded option, so it can be the counter hit.
I was doing it in the air for some reason.
Yep. So you see that was a 4-hit combo. Wow. So because of that only works on counter hit, but even on regular hit, that's hard to interrupt because you got to be ready for it. So you'll see Geo players a lot of the time will basically just throw out 5H and hide the spiral arrow inside of it. They will buffer it.
Okay.
So the spiral arrow only comes out if it makes contact with something. And there's definitely a gap there, but you have to be ready to intercept it. And if it counter hits something, or if it like hits a limb, that's even better, right? Because now you've got like your free in. And now I'm plus.
Right.
Similarly, or not the exact same thing, but her 2S being 2 hits gives her enough time to like truly hit confirm.
Yeah.
Same thing with his like crumple on the close slash. You have enough time to go, oh, that's hit. I can do combo.
Right. Something I do, I think this is relevant. Sometimes,
For sure.
what I usually do is I'll do close slash, far slash, and then do that combo. Would it be better to do close slash 2S? Because it mixes up, like, middle to low, or does it really matter?
It is better overall, because far slash is really, really good, especially when you dash in with it, but it takes a long time.
Yeah.
2S isn't a lot faster, but it's a little faster. And additionally, when you should be delaying your hits after close slash, because it sends in that that little like it like hits him off the ground a little bit when it gets close. So like, if you do close slash far slash immediately, I'm airborne. But if you wait a little bit, I'm grounded, and you can get more hits.
Okay.
So like, try delaying the far slash a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't think that was all combo, but...
You cancel the far slash before the third hit, but...
Oh, that was it? Okay.
But you did get the grounded far slash, which means you get more hits. You can go into super also, whereas normally, like, if they're in the air, that doesn't connect because they're too far away. And then this is a really good move because it gives them a hard knockdown. Like, they can't change their wake up timing, and it takes a long time for them to stand up. So even in the corner, right? That looks like it might hit in time, or it could just enough time to like dash up and then get a meaty knee. Do you know what the term meaty means?
It's like when you hit somebody on wake up, right?
Yes. There's two definitions basically, but they're used the same way. So if I knock you down, I don't think you have health. Yeah, you don't. So like, let's say the knee has 4 active frames, right? It's really hard normally to hit with anything but the first active frame. But on wake up, if I just dash into you and I do the knee such that the last active frame hits you, that means that my advantage on block is 3 frames better. And on hit, it gives me maybe a little more time to confirm. It's not more time, but it still lets me confirm into stuff on hit.
I see. Okay, so it's not just hitting on wake up, but hitting later into the move's active frames on wake up.
Right.
Okay.
Like that was close slash to 5k. That doesn't normally work.
Okay.
But yeah, do you know what the blue combo is? I can explain that real quick because that's confusing.
Yes, that would be very helpful because I have no idea what it means.
All right. So, there are some moves that put you in a like this move, right? It puts you in this state where you're kind of in this little crumple. During this, on this move, there's a very brief window where you can't move yet, but it's not a true combo if I do like this.
Right.
Or this. That's a true combo, my bad. So you still have to block high versus low, but you can't move yet.
Okay.
A lot of moves that guard crush do this. So like Potemkin's little like arm cannon does this. Soul's Fafnir does this. His like lunging fire punch, where it's like it's plus 17, and it does this guard crush animation where like you can block string them or you could high low them, but they can't like mash DP out of it. Importantly, for those guard crush moves, Geo doesn't have any. But importantly, you cannot yellow Roman cancel. So if you block Fafnir, you gotta guess. Like you can't just YRC and get out it for free. Not for free, but you gotta hold the mix up. Okay. So kind of getting back to the topic of like a strike throw. Geo is really good at strike throw because her close slash is a great way to hit confirm. Go ahead and block for a little bit.
Okay.
So if any of these hit, I could have a 2S, right? I can react in time if I'm ready for it. And if they don't, I'm still plus.
Right. Okay. And then go for the throw as like a mix-up.
Right. Throw,
Okay.
because throws are lower damage, usually throws are there to either like to get damage or to get you to stop blocking.
Okay.
Because hits are almost always going to be more valuable damage-wise than throws. Excuse me. So, like, throws are important, but in this game, you're going to get your bigger damage off of strikes, but because Geo doesn't have that high-low, her goal, the only way to hit them is to get them to stop blocking. And that's what throws are for, basically. Additionally, she also has a few other moves for that. So, like, go ahead and keep blocking for a little bit. This is a really good move to get them to stop blocking, the Spiral Arrow, because this is plus. So, like, if you don't press out here... Yeah, exactly. You press out there. That's the risk, is, oh, if you try to press out so Geo can't loop this forever, you get counter hit and you get really hurt.
Right. Okay, I see. Yeah.
So, like, that was a Roman cancel combo for 40% off of, like, a 2K.
Okay.
And also worth noting, that 2K, go ahead and block for a little bit. That 2K is safe on block, especially if it's spaced a little bit, this cancel. And even if you block, now I've already decided I'm going to Roman cancel, and I get a ton of plus frames.
Okay.
So, especially with characters that only have unsafe, like, confirms off of one hit, it's very common to see, like, let's say Kai. His slide is unsafe. So, like, a lot of times you'll see Kai do his slide, and then whether it was hit or blocked, he'll RC for either pressure if it was blocked or a combo if it hit.
Okay.
Same thing with Uncharged Dust. Uncharged Dust is fast enough to mix people up for the most part. Charged Dust a little less so if you're ready for it, especially as, like, Geo only has the one overhead. So this just catches you blocking, as opposed to, like, the high-low. But with meter, that can be, one, safe on block, and let alone plus. Two, on a hit, that'll be like a short combo. Not even a short combo, but, like, that'll be a lot more damage than just this dinky little, like, single hit. Additionally, same thing goes with throws, right? So, like, this wouldn't kill you at that health, right?
Right.
But if I had meter for a Roman cancel, it could. Okay, let's...
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was gonna... I see, because I've seen people Roman cancel throws. I just wasn't sure what that was all about.
Usually, because the damage is pretty scaled, it's not going to be super high. A lot of the value of Roman canceling throws is to either break the wall or, like, get a kill or some kind of good position.
Okay.
Okay, let's play some games then.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, the Geodude is a really interesting matchup. Yep. So, like, the yellow Roman cancel has that same guard crush property, where if you wanted to, you could just do like 2K and hit me low before I could move. But it's very scaled. Or, it's not a guaranteed hit. I would have to be blocking low. So like in that instance, I decided to backdash. If you 2K'd there, it would hit me for a very small amount of damage, but it would hit me.
Okay.
It's very strange kind of thing. Oh.
You're slow. Here I go. I'm pretty careless. Clouds bounce. Distance. You're slow. No way. Repop. Guess I don't really care. Repop.
Yeah, but so you can see kind of the power of like having that meaty plus on block attack.
Hey, no.
It's really limiting. Like it gives you a lot of control over their wake up options. Backdash. Go ahead.
When I try to do my Oki on their wake up, I almost always I try to condition them with 2D to block low, and then I'll go for a charged dust. But I feel like that people might catch on to that throughout the match, so I think I need to mix it up a little bit more.
Yeah. Like, Charge Dust is slow enough to be reactable, especially with the orange glow.
Maybe.
So it's a little inconsistent in results.
Okay.
So once you find somebody who will block that on a reaction, they don't have to guess. You're going to have a really hard time.
You're slow. I like the energy. Clouds bouncing.
If you're trying to control space, like horizontally with that dashing far slash, sometimes it's usually a lot safer to do dashing 5K.
Okay.
Because like you see there, I managed to like backdash in the air, land, and then do 5H, and it was still able to like whiff punish you.
Gotcha.
Like there's a time and a place for sure for far slash. But a lot of the times it's a little riskier than you would expect.
You played the color I wish I had, but I don't have the DLC.
The purple colors are rad.
Yeah, that's my favorite color. Drop the combo.
I'm okay.
I know better than to do that, because it works on people who are bad at the game, but I would assume you're not bad at the game.
I'm okay.
I just mean when I set up this combo and I do the quarter circle forward instead, it's kind of like a cheap combo extension, kind of sort of. If they don't know that it's plus, but you obviously know that it's plus, so it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's cyclical though, right? So like, I know it's plus, so my first reaction is to not challenge what you're going to do. But if I don't challenge what you're going to do, Geo has the kind of tools where she can just loop her pressure or like, you know, dash up grab, such to the point that like you can't react to dash up grab and with anything because it's just too fast. So I have to press buttons eventually. Oh. Oh no. Not like this.
Oh no, I messed up again.
You see, this will be blue on screen.
Autopilot.
Yeah.
What's that?
Because that was a YRC, that was a blue beat combo. So that was that like guard crush situation.
Okay.
So the reason I super here is for the knockdown, basically.
Okay.
If you break the wall with super, the opponent is knocked down. And especially with the Geo, that helps a lot.
True, but a Jaguar Cup.
So Geo's a very... She's like straightforward. I think she's a good character to kind of like learn the game and other characters with, and I think she's very good. I'm not trying to make it sound like she's bad. But she does... A lot of the characters in Gear don't follow that necessarily like, oh, I could hit you overhead or low at any time, and here's this mix-up tool for that. Like, some of her best tools are slow, and they kind of prey on the opponent being hesitant to press buttons because counter hits are strong. Oh no! Nice backdash.
Got around, yeah.
Hell yeah. No!
Please don't move. I'm sleeping.
God, this song is such a bop, too.
Oh yeah. I actually... This isn't my first Guilty Gear game, technically, because the arcade when I was a kid had XX, and I was like, what is this amazing game with these crazy anime characters and all this awesome metal music? Nice.
You gotta be careful about where you burst. I noticed you burst a lot on, like, when you're knocked down before you get up. It's not a bad place to burst sometimes, but the damage has already been done, and it is punishable. So, if that burst gets blocked, you're in a really bad spot.
Right, okay. So I should look more to block, like, mid-block string, or mid-combo, rather. Not necessarily mid-block string, because if I'm blocking, I don't really need to burst, necessarily.
There are some situations, especially against some characters in this game, where bursting mid-block string isn't atrocious, but it's a big cost to pay.
Okay. Is that wrong? That's a corner combo. He's got the backdash.
Yeah, that's just the 50-50.
Yeah, so you blocked the burst there, and that's what
Yep.
last nail in the coffin there.
Because at the end, like, if that kick had connected, you would have died from the health loss. And if I block the burst, you die from the health loss. So it's kind of just a 50-50. Situations like that come up sometimes, and it is... It's not... There's not nothing you can do about them, but it is just... you. It's kind of like you just gotta guess.
Yeah. Nice.
All the way to the corner.
Please don't move. I'll make it quick. You're slow.
Super fair.
This is heavy. Taking it. Bounce, bounce. Brent still tied. Taking it. You're slow.
Oh. Remember, if you are going to be blocking, go ahead and just block low. There's a few characters that are exceptions, but
Right.
those are the exceptions, and you will absolutely notice who the exceptions are.
Yeah, like Milia.
Millie is kind of like a guess, frankly.
Yeah. Okay.
Eno, usually there's some ranges where Eno can only easily hit high, which is because of her hover dash. But again, those are kind of the exceptions.
You're slow. Quiet. Up here. Come on. Life's blessed. You're slow. This is heavy. This is heavy. I'm throwing you. Sorry. Can we not?
That was a bad burst.
Yeah, you got to worry about like where your vertical distance is when you burst, because you do pop up a little bit, which makes it difficult.
Can I borrow you? You're slow. No way. Quiet. Hunt you down.
Ah.
Oh. Did that too soon.
Yep. When you're trying to hit somebody out of the air, for the most part, you can just rely on 6P.
Right, okay.
Because
Yeah, I don't do that enough.
it's kind of hard against Geo because her air dash has that like little downwards kick to it. A little downwards.
You're slow. Guys, don't get by me. I like
Ha! A lot of characters' offense and gear is based on like overwhelming, and just the fact that like you can't defend against everything at the same time. So like when you press there, that means you're less likely to have like defended against the overhead flip kick or something else. Yeah,
What I meant to do. That's what I meant to do.
Nice. Yep, and then you get the wall bounce off of that, so you can keep going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. One of like 3 combos I know. I know, so impressive. 3 combos.
Hey, 3 combos is plenty. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think I've done okay so far with 3 combos. I mean, I can get to the 9th floor. I can't really win any matches on the 9th floor, but I can get there.
Another use of meter is like covering one option and then just RCing, whether it hit or not.
What? You hungry?
Okay.
So like what I did there was I did the roundhouse kick because I was hoping you wouldn't move, and then you would have to block it. And then it would either kill you from chip or I would get in. And then because you moved, I didn't react to you moving, I just RC'd anyway. Because you moved, it kept me actionable and let me pressure you.
I see.
So you don't have to worry, for some moves and ways you can RC, you don't have to worry about like, oh, what if this misses? It's like, well, you can make situations where it's fine.
Maybe we're twins, separated at birth.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Clouds bouncing. Repulse. I'm throwing you. Hitting me. This is heavy. Taking aim.
I should save the burst for the next round at this point.
That's something that takes a little while to get used to as well.
Yeah.
I haven't even got.
Duel 2. Let's rock.
Here I go. Taking aim. Pretty careless. Guys, this is heavy. Repulse. Hitting me. Repulse.
No, not the one kick. I wanted the cartwheel.
That's why.
So for frame data, the uncharged dust is 0 on hit.
Okay.
So that's why even when you hit me with that uncharged dust, that's one reason why it's so low reward, right? It's because I could just keep pressing, like, especially in the Ditto. Like the worst we can do is trade.
Right. You just hit your fastest button and you're okay. I see.
How do they get over here?
I'm not really sure.
Let me out. There you go.
Yeah, sometimes I forget that strike throws a thing.
Yep. Because without it, I can kind of just turtle up. And,
Yeah.
like, I'll block the overhead, you know, I'll block your plus moves, and there's no threat. I don't have to press buttons. There we go. So you see there, we both hit Far Slash. That's kind of the danger of being, like, minus.
Insert cool one-liner.
Is that your moves are going to get counter hit by equal strength moves. So you have to either pick a weaker move or, like, pick something else that's a little scary.
Okay.
Gosh dang it. It's not supposed to be that hard. I'm trying for a little fancier combo and I keep messing it up.
Yeah.
But it
I
looks
can relate.
it looks rad. Remember, you have meter. So when you have meter, you have an invincible get up option. Or an invincible option in general with the super,
No, this isn't
the grounded super. And if you have full meter, you could honestly just invincible super and then Roman cancel if it's blocked. If
Right.
you really want to get up without having to worry about a single thing.
Mankind
That makes sense.
change society.
Or similarly, excuse me, you could, again, like, not with Geo so much, but with other characters, you can do a move that's unsafe, and then Roman cancel whether it hits or not.
Maybe we're twins, separated at birth.
So, like Dust, for example, is unsafe. So you could try to open somebody up with Dust, and then if it doesn't work, hey, you're still plus.
Pretty careless. Pretty careless. I like it. Scary. Taking it. I'm sleeping.
6P across, I believe, the entire cast will beat out Spiral Arrow.
Okay.
So that's something to watch
Is it
out for.
Reactable? Is it reactable?
It's
Or-
kind of reactable if you're looking for it.
Okay. So, like, if you're, which they would probably be looking for it if I'm doing that block string.
Right. So, like, for example, what I'm doing right here is I'm looking basically for either the overhead or the Spiral Arrow.
Right.
So the one way to beat that is to stagger the roundhouse kick.
Right. Oh, nice.
I didn't necessarily expect you to burst there. That was just where I was supposed to Roman cancel to get the kill.
Work cut might be stronger.
Because you were low enough to where a Roman cancel there means I can kill you. But you burst at the point where the Roman cancel happens, so the shockwave didn't hit you.
Okay.
So even though it looks like that was a bait, that was just me going, oh, the shockwave didn't hit. That means they burst. That means I should block.
Okay.
So for like an alternative burst point, for Geo at least, it might be like right before the wolf kick hits. Or right after the Roman cancel, you still have your kind of you still have your options, right?
Seriously, stop. This is heavy.
There. And that's the risk of bursting not in a combo on a habit.
Yeah. Yeah, it got baited.
Yep. And when your burst is blocked or it misses, it takes longer to recharge.
Oh, really?
So you see,
Know that.
so like look at my burst. That's a gold
I'm
burst.
looking at my burst, yeah.
Right. Gold bursts don't take any longer to recharge if they miss.
You're slow. Here I go.
Oh.
Pretty careless. This is heavy. Taking aim. Oh, you're done now. Oh, you're done now. Up here.
I know that's not a good follow-up to that RRC.
You can keep it simpler than that though. It doesn't have to be like
Some
you.
special move, yeah.
Yeah, you can just do like close slash 2H and do a special move.
That makes a lot more sense.
Like Gia's combos are very straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Like the goal for any of them is going to be close slash 2H special. If you're
Right.
close to the wall, you can do spiral arrow instead of the roundhouse kick. But even mid screen, close slash 2H, a roundhouse kick, 5K roundhouse kick. That's your knockdown, right? And the second part of that is, I don't want to say optional, but like you still get a lot of the benefit, right? Because this knocks down. Ah!
Please don't move. That was annoying.
So I did cartwheel there. It's because it's fast and it low crushes a little bit.
There. Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of evasive against lows sometimes because she's spinning,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to punish on block. So I figured why not.
Not quite. Taking aim. Clouds bouncing. I'm throwing you. Hitting me. Uh-oh.
Oops.
I'm throwing you. Up here. There. Clouds out. Taking aim. Clouds bouncing. Clouds bouncing. Quiet. Open me. Here I go. Are you? Hey, no, this isn't Iguazu.
I have no idea what Iguazu is. She said it so
What's
many
that?
times. In one of her win quotes, she says like to her
I don't
dog.
know either. It must be a place or something. She's
Yeah.
supposed to be from Brazil, so maybe it's somewhere in Brazil.
Clouds back. Repulse. Here I go. How would you like to fly? Yeah, that hurt. Up here. Pretty careless. Here I go. Pretty careless. Up here.
I'm being bullied. Those overheads hurt. They actually do very little damage, but it just hurts my soul.
Yeah. I think it's more of a moral victory than anything.
Oh.
Yeah, you can watch me mess with the dust combo. Oh, I did mess with
Ooh.
the first time I've gotten that close. That is the closest I've ever gotten to do that combo.
Nice. Oh, that doesn't
Feeling
struggle.
inspired.
Yeah, that was a big punish. Okay, let me see if I can swap the room to training real quick,
Okay.
so I can show you some kind of like some consistent combos for Geo that are a little easier than the stuff you're doing.
Okay. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, and then we can also practice using meter some.
Okay.
Because that's also kind of the hard part about gears, that like, oh, I should use meter more. You get like 2 around tops usually. Edit room settings.
Well, I know you said you usually go over, but I don't want to take up more of your time than I paid for.
No, you're good. I want to show you this stuff.
Okay.
Plus, I said I'd be ready a little earlier than I was. Here, I got to make a new room that's specifically training, and I'll shoot you that
Okay.
code in just a minute.
Sounds good.
Player match. Yeah, we'll cap it to like 10 minutes tops, if that makes you feel
Okay.
better.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's a lot of fancy stuff you could do with Geo that it might be like a little more damage or like a little more meter or something, but for the most part, room type training. There we go. For the most part, that's something to worry about later when you're like, oh, I want to look for some new stuff to do because it's fun. There's the new code for you.
Okay.
Let me see. I'm still on Geo. Sick. Man, online training rooms are the raddest thing.
Yeah, it's so nice that they have that in this game.
Especially because gear can be really, like, these characters can mess you up if you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm assuming I get all the normal settings. It's been a minute since I've actually been in online training mode. I don't know if I've been in this game, actually. I might be thinking of a different anime fighter. But, what we're going to do... Okay. Buttons. Can you move around?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Command list, but display set. Input history, damage display. I can't give us meter. You've got to be kidding me.
Really?
I have command list, button settings, sound settings, and then display settings for like input and damage. Oh, this is lame.
Is it because there's 2 players, or is it because it's online?
I'm not sure. Here, let me get positive, and then I'll let you get positive, and we can.
Alright.
Wait, does our health refill? Go ahead and hit me against the wall. Our health does not refill. Okay, that's fine.
You're slow. Taking aim. Kidding me? This is heavy. Are you?
All right. So one move that you're going to hit frequently is like something like whether it's 2K or 5K into roundhouse kick.
You're slow.
Okay.
So, and then red Roman cancel is a pretty good. That's a good place to red Roman cancel and hitter block.
Okay.
So what you want to do after that is dash up, close slash 2H, wolf kick again. I'll show you real quick.
Ow. Sorry. There I go. Ugh.
Okay.
Yep. You can do a little more if you're in the corner or if you do a little harder stuff, but that's a perfectly serviceable knockdown. Excuse me. So go ahead and try that.
Okay. Oops.
Just anything into wolf kick. And then Roman cancel.
I'm struggling to get it. Oh, because I'm hitting the wrong button. I'm hitting heavy slash. Okay. And then, of course, I can't.
Okay, so that is how this is going to work. Okay. Okay.
We don't have meter
Let's start
again.
with the other stuff.
Alright.
So, the basic...
I'll remember that one now.
Yep. There's basically 2 ways you're going to hit... There's 3 ways you're going to hit somebody. You're going to hit them with, like a dash up 5K or, like, 5S. If it's 5S, then you can do 5H and wolf kick, and that's about it without meter. Okay, perfect. That is what that button does. Let's go.
Oh, sick. Cool.
If you... It's either going to be a stray kick into... Right. You're good. Stray kick into wolf kick. With either one. It's going to be far slash into, like, wolf kick, basically. You can do superhero also. Especially if you're near the wall. This will be a lot of damage and a good knockdown. Because that'll be...
So I usually go into special after far slash, but that makes more sense to just get that one extra hit in with the 5H
yeah.
beforehand.
And then the third way you're going to hit somebody is with close slash. So this, you'll notice it knocks them off the ground a little bit. If you do this into far slash, they're airborne, which is bad for far slash. But if you do this into 2H, they're airborne, which is great. It's a great launcher.
I see.
Because you can link another one after the first wolf kick. 5K into wolf kick.
Nice.
Or if we're a little closer to the corner, you can do spiral arrow, wolf kick, and then break the wall like that.
Right.
So, because of this, if you're getting the close slash, and you know they're going to be airborne, you do 2H and 2 wolf kick. And you can do another wolf kick, or you can do, yeah, just 2H into wolf kick, 5K wolf kick. And then you have plenty of time to dash up, get the meaty, dash up whatever pressure you want. Or
that seems easier than the one I usually do off of that, which I usually end with 6H, the 6H combo. But I always miss the last hit.
Yep.
You have to, like, delay the last 2 or something.
Yeah, it's weird. So
And I think it's just overly complicated.
yeah. Another way you're going to get a hit frequently is off of close slash. Basically, if someone blocks close slash, you can check them by doing 2S. So, like, if you're blocking close slash and then you want to move, that'll catch you a lot because you can delay it as much as you want it. So off of that, just 2S, 5H, wolf kick. Same thing as far slash.
Okay.
Or, you can super if you like, if your hands work. There we go. But they're grounded, it's the same deal. Meterless or with a super, very, very straightforward. All roads leading to wolf kick or super. So even if you want to do this, right, you can put in a super here.
Oh, okay.
Or just do super here if you really want to make sure you get it. It's not that that's still 188 damage versus the harder one. Oops. Where you add in the what? The harder one where you add in the 5K. Gosh, yeah, the harder one that I can super do. Okay, what am I missing?
The pressure's on.
There we go. So here, it's actually for less damage.
Yeah.
But
Scaling, right?
right, the scaling. But you get a little distance. So you're a little closer to the wall, which might be important.
Especially if you get the wall break.
Yep. It also doesn't require you to cancel off of this 2H. Because this is 2 hits into super directly, and the super motion is going to be a little tricky.
Mm-hmm. Right, because you're going from 2 to 6.
Right. And you can delay it.
Or not 6. Or yeah, 6. Yeah.
Yep. So, like, going into wolf kick twice, super fine. Because then you can get your strike throw, you can get your safe jump. So, like, if I think you're going to DP, depending on the specific DP,
I'm trying to DP.
oh, well, hers isn't invincible.
No, that's true. That's true.
So, if there's, like, an invincible move, like her super maybe, right? Like, oh, I want to bait that out, while still... Safe jumps, the value in safe jumps is like, if you block this, great. If you DP, I land before I can get hit, if I do it right.
Right.
So it becomes this like win-win situation.
What's her best safe jump button? Is it heavy slash or...
Pretty much going to be a heavy slash, because dust is 2 hits.
Oh, right.
The only real qualification for a good safe jump button is just the biggest one you have that'll hit.
Okay.
So like if you do, you can safe jump P, but that gets you less reward. Like
Right.
you have to be faster with the close slash. Versus here, it's a little easier. It's a lot more damaging. So just to kind of like make sure I don't make sure I don't get too far away from what we came here for. The basic like the combos you're gonna do. If it's close slash, you do 2H wolf kick, 5K wolf kick. Or even just if you don't want to do the second 5K, that's fine. If it's far slash or 2S, then you're going to 5H wolf kick.
Right.
And then if it's the other time you're going to get a kick is basically if you just buffer it into a kick.
Okay. That's really helpful because I kind of poke with 5K sometimes, but I never know what to do off of it. But that makes sense, just the wolf kick.
Yep. It's safe on block. It combos on hit, which is important. Mm-hmm. So like I was saying that punches are really low reward. You can get cartwheel, but like one, that's also not much. It's like 40 damage.
Yeah.
You cannot get wolf kick off of either punch, which is huge.
Mm-hmm.
You can get 6P, so like, but if you do 2 punches, wolf kick doesn't combo, so you kind of commit to, you're committing, gosh dang it, you're committing really early and it's a very awkward thing for low damage. So yeah, go ahead and just for a minute or two practice like either of those combos.
Okay, so it's...
Yep.
Alright.
Yep. You have a little more time than you think you do.
Oh, okay. Oh, I did that. I was thinking I'm in the corner.
No, you are in the corner. That's good. Yeah.
Okay.
So here, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, because basically all you really need to start playing a character in pretty much any game is a combo. So like, for example, if I block super, right, or if you block super, you're like, oh, I have a combo. You can dash up, do the combo, and you know what to do.
Right.
You have your poke, your 5K, your far slash into buttons. You can end stuff in wolf kick and be fine, and you know what to do on knockdown. The only thing that we didn't really cover is the anti-airs, which is going to be pretty much 6P.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Is my impression correct that the kind of wheel kick thing is not the greatest anti-air?
It's an amazing anti-air, but it's harder to perform than 6P.
Okay. Okay.
So like, go ahead and like air dash at me and press a button.
Okay.
You get a lot more reward off of that than this.
True. Okay.
But it is also harder, and you got to be faster. I shouldn't be RCing there, but like you could super off of that. No, especially if you have dashing momentum, and you can kind of get like under them.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
Yep. It's the same as 6P, where like the hurt boxes are super low, so it's a really good anti-air.
Okay.
Because like out of that 6P, the hurt boxes are like her knees.
Okay.
So long as you know like 6P into wolf kick is your anti-air, you have your pokes, especially with your dashing momentum. Oh, fun fact. So there's a minimum distance before you can crouch and like stop dashing for Geo. If you faultless defense, there's like no minimum.
Oh, I didn't know FD break was. I've heard of FD break. I didn't know you really had to do it for Geo.
Yeah, that's a Geo specific thing in this game.
Okay.
But it does still change the momentum of other characters. So like, if a character's running and crouches, they still have momentum. If they're running, oops, we don't meter. If they're running an FD break, they lose momentum.
Okay.
So it gives you a little more control over your movement.
Gotcha.
So if you wanted to, let's say, you wanted to, because normally, right, like I want to walk up or run up 5K. Versus, I want to bait, run up 5K. You're in a very similar position. Versus here, I want to bait, run up. I'm going to pretend to run up 5K. Oops. And now you're significantly further away.
That's tricky. I like that.
Yeah. Because then you can just do it again. Because her initial dash is insane. Like, from here, you get grabbed. Like, you have to worry about it this far away. Or almost even worse, close slash plus on block, you still got to deal with the situation.
Yeah.
So she has her close buttons from so far away. And then, I guess you got hit. Now
I'm gonna super.
Right.
Please don't move. No.
Oops. I goofed that a little bit. So you can RC before the throw actually happens. Like, look at your health.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do.
Right.
What you might end up doing on accident, oops, is this.
Yeah.
And that's
I've done that before.
Yeah, it's kind of hard with Geo because you don't know when her throw happens. But it's not too bad. So yeah, I think just work on the anti-airs. Her 5P can be an okay anti-air if you just goof a little bit, but 6P is what you're looking for. 6P into wolf kick.
Okay.
And then similarly, either kick into wolf kick is a great here's a good place to start. Like, you can just engage the game from so far away. Geo's a crazy character.
Yeah.
And then just your two combo routes, right? Close slash 2H wolf kick, and then either of the other slashes 5H wolf kick.
Right. So I think I'm doing the far slash or the 2S. H and wolf kick mostly.
Yeah, you're doing this a fair bit, and that's good. And then for the Roman cancel extension, it's the same thing as the close slash because you have all the time in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Go Roman cancel. Cool. I'm bad. Roman cancel. Cool. I can just do this.
Okay.
And then, even if they're not in the corner, hey, neat, they're in the corner now.
Right. Okay, see, you make it sound a lot easier than I look at Dust Loop, and it's like, yeah, red Roman cancel, dash under, then dash back under, and I'm like, what?
Yeah,
and it's all in this code, and you're like,
yeah. Oh, do you know how to read numpad, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because that's a big kind of. It's a barrier to entry, but it's a smaller than the language barrier, which is the reason it exists. I can talk to a French or Japanese player about numpad notation via numpad notation.
Right.
It's a communication method.
Yeah, that's cool.
It also makes it a little faster rather than saying what is it called? Sepultura and Travail and Sol.
Yeah.
CH Sol Nascente. It's I don't know what the hell Sol Nascente is.
Yeah, right. I'm not even sure which one that is.
It's the cartwheel.
Okay.
That's why people say cartwheel.
Yeah.
Or this is Spiral Arrow because it looks like Spiral Arrow and the name is not snappy.
Yeah.
This is overhead flip or flip kick or something similar because that's what it is. This is wolf kick or roundhouse or I forgot what it's called. Sepultura.
Yeah.
That's not the worst, but it's I don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
So once you can kind of get into training mode and move around, the notation becomes a lot less scary because
yeah.
This by definition kind of has to be there's a lot of inputs. Oops. If you were trying to notate this, it is a little bit of
Right.
it's a lot of buttons, a lot of motions, but that's just a lot of them are straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are the same thing you already do, right? So that combo is just this combo, but you don't have the extra tacked on.
Right.
So if you get 5K, oh, that hit, cool. We're close to the corner, neat. And, you can reuse what you already know.
Right.
Or okay, oh, we're close to the corner, let me super. So I get the wall break, right? And hey, that did hella damage. Oh, hey, cool. We're close to the corner still? Well, I goofed it, but you can just kind of freeball it a little bit. The biggest difficulty to that, I think, is knowing what you want to hit them with if they're airborne, and knowing what you want to hit them with if they're grounded.
Okay.
Because we mentioned, far slash and 5H don't work great on airborne, and 2H don't work great on grounded. It works, but it's not got a lot of range.
Right.
Oops. So aside from that, I think you're good to you're good to start. You don't got to worry about a lot more else.
Okay.
You can play Geo, and then from there you can go oh, the Geo Ditto. They're going to be looking for they're going to end their block strings in one of these two. Mm-hmm. And if they don't, if they hit 5H and I block it and they don't do anything, it's my turn. I can move. Or oh, I got to watch out for this because they have meter, right? And they might do something that's fancier, but it's the same basic idea. Roman cancel get damage, or Roman cancel stay safe.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe it's oh, you go to Soul. Oh yeah, Soul has an invincible reversal, an invincible wake up move. I should safe jump that.
Yeah.
Which is a fancier way for saying all safe jumps are is a timing that you don't get hit by. You don't get hit by reversals. It doesn't got to be some big scary thing.
Right. I just haven't applied them yet, I think part of my problem is it's overwhelming at first, right? Because it's there's all these different things you can do, and you should do this in this situation and this in that situation, and then Smash was the same way when I started playing that.
Yep.
So
This-
I think I'm just wading through all that right now.
Yeah. This game's a little more punishing in Smash in that sense because it's a little more rigid. So, like, when you block close slash, you are -4 or whatever, right? Like,
Right.
I can just physically move before you.
Right.
So, like, if I just do this forever, you gotta put up with it. You gotta press eventually.
Right.
And if you press in the wrong spot, you just kind of get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, like Smash Ultimate, like everything is minus. Like there's like 3
Right.
plus moves in the whole game or something ridiculous like that.
Right. And you're kind of relying on out of shield options being a little slower or more awkward to use.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, up smash, aerials, shield grab is, I think, slower than regular grab, but like,
Yeah.
you know, it's a list of things. Versus here, it's like, on paper, it's like, oh, you know, they're -4. What could they do? They could do anything. In reality, it's like, they're going to pick their fastest move, or like a move that'll reach you and intercept what you're doing, or they're going to move. Like, you don't got to be like, oh, what if they 2D at -4? It's like, they're not gonna. That also has enough overlap with your other stuff to be like, you don't have to think about it. If they 2D and you press, you just beat them anyway.
Right.
And there are going to be some minor hurtbox and hitbox interactions that are just going to happen naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, as an example, if you go ahead and flip kick me,
Do the flip kick.
yeah, the overhead.
All right. 1 second. All right. Here we go.
Up here. Now one. Up here.
Oops, sorry.
Up here.
Like, this is the nature of the hurtboxes.
Up here.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, I'm trying to 6P. It's just not going to hit me.
Right.
Pretty careless.
So, like, this is a universal
Because you got-
thing.
Because you got upper body invincibility.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little simpler than that, even. She just don't have hurtboxes up there.
Okay.
Like, she's not explicitly invulnerable. She just doesn't have the hurtboxes. No bounce damage. So, like, same thing with her cartwheel, right? There's just no hurtboxes. So, if I pause, it doesn't pause for you? Yeah. Like, if you go to Dust Loop, you can... Like, Dust Loop can be overwhelming, but it can be really easy for, like, oh, you know, like, this move is giving me trouble. What do I do against it? You can be like, oh, is my 6P a good answer? You're like, oh, this move doesn't have hurt boxes on it. Let's go. like 5P or 6P and this are the same in that regard, but this is a little harder. So like it's something you can do if you think like, oh, I really think they're gonna jump at me, or like, hey, I'm getting a lot of 6Ps. I feel like confident. I know when they're gonna jump. I'm confident in my DP motion.
Yeah. I am not confident in my DP motion.
Yeah. So you don't have to use the move. Like, it's just a little cherry on top if you want it.
Yeah.
But yeah, in that way, like, I think the best thing you can do is like get your basics down of like, oh, 6P anti-air into wolf kick. You know, your pokes into wolf kick. Here's the combo if they miss something or you land the close slash. And from there, you can be like, okay, let me play against... What the hell does Gold Lewis Dickinson do? Oh, Jesus! And you can just play that way. And, like, you're always free to message me and be like, hey, what the hell does Gold Lewis Dickinson do?
Okay.
Alternatively, you can... Obviously, you have Dust Loop as a great resource. So, like, one not intuitive interaction, right? This move's active for, like, 8 frames.
Yeah, it's disjointed too.
Yeah. So, like, if you hit it meaty enough, you can combo off of it. I'm not used to doing this. Oh yeah, that was hella meaty. So like, or you can like it's not safe jump, but like you can safely pressure certain reversals, right? Because it's just out of range. And that's like an optimization. You can be like, oh, Kai's invincible move is slower, so maybe my safe jump can be a little like a little more lenient. I don't got to worry about like, oh, I got to be perfect. I can just laugh at the character who has a bad thing. But yeah, I think I will stop rambling. I promise. I think that's basically kind of the gist of it. Like, you've got a pretty good grasp on the way that, like cycles will work. Of like, oh, I'm plus, so I want to press a slower move and get better pressure, but that means that they should be pressing faster moves, which means I should be pressing a medium move or a fast move, right? Like I can cash in that counter hit. So I think your experience in Ultimate is really helpful in that regard.
Okay.
This is my favorite thing in any Guilty Gear.
This Gatling P into P into P.
Yep. Oops. Like, especially the older games, sometimes you just need to hit them 8 times. Because that's how Guts works, right? Like, the less health they have, the more defense they have. But yeah, so I think, do you have any other questions you want to hit?
No, I don't think so. Not right now, because I think, like I was saying, like it's a lot to wade through right at first. Just having picked up the game not that long ago.
Yeah, that's super fair.
So I think I've got a lot to work with now.
Hell yeah,
for sure.
If you have any questions, either about like the game, a matchup, or like how to interpret Dust Loop, feel super free to like hit me up. I love talking.
Okay, great.
I love talking. I love running sets. It's a fun time.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut the stream, and then I will send you the YouTube VOD as I get that up later tonight.
All right, great.